class for today. I do have a yoga blanket and a bolster to help provide a little bit of support when in a seated position and to find a little extra support and softness when closing out our class today, where we're going to focus on just stretching out, finding space through the hips, the low back, and just kind of opening up the pelvis all together. So these two props would probably be nice and supportive along that journey. And so getting started, we're going to go ahead and use the blanket for a nice little boost when coming into a bear sit. And so when coming into this space, bring your feet a little bit wider, knees are going to be bent. And it'd be helpful too, if getting upright, if finding a tall spine in this space is a little bit more challenging, that blanket is going to help give you a little bit more support here in this space. And so when finding your seat, shimmy those hips side to side, forward and back until you're able to anchor those sit bones down onto the earth. Giving your knees a nice little hug in order to find a nice tall spine here in this space. Finding a lift through the chest, through the crown of the head, as your low back lengthens down toward the floor. And if even this blanket is still not enough support for you to find height in this space, switch the blanket out for the bolster. That'll give you even more of a lift. And just take a few breaths here to find a little bit more height through your spine. Maintaining your shape, but continuing to actively pull your chest, your belly towards your thighs. Use neck connection to pull the crown of the head even taller. And find 3 breaths here in this space, maybe even closing your eyes. And then from this space, keeping your spine nice and long, go ahead and bring your hands towards your knees. And then slowly start to scoop the tailbone underneath you, puff the back of the rib cage back behind you. We'll come into a few seated cat-cows, moving in whatever capacity you are able. Tucking your chin to your chest, really rounding and curving backwards. And on the inhale, flick that tailbone back behind you as you try to pull the belly, the heart, the chest through the thighs. Gaze lifts. Exhale, round. Scoop that tailbone underneath you. And inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round. Trying to move through each and every section of the spine. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull forward. Try and find a little bit more movement, more space each round. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull forward. Last one, exhale, round. Inhale, come back to neutral. Give your legs a little bit more of a hug. Find that tall spine once more. And then on your exhale, go ahead and bring your fingertips back behind you. Keep that spine nice and long. And then go ahead and windshield wiper the knees all the way over towards the left. And then drive that right knee open, create space within the inner thighs. Try to drive that right knee as much as you can, keeping that left knee nice and open until you can't really create any more space within the inner thighs. And then allow that left knee to come over towards the right. Keep that right knee anchored out. Drive that left knee open. Create space. Open up. And then allow everything to fall over towards the left. Drive that right knee open. Left knee stays anchored. Spine stays nice and long throughout. And then the left knee falls in. Inhale, drive open. Create space. Exhale, right knee falls in. Inhale, drive open. Exhale, let that left knee come in. Inhale, come back through center. Find that space. Really drive those knees equally left and right. Really open up through the inner thighs. And then exhale, let everything soften. Come back into midline, legs parallel to one another. And then scoot your hips just a little bit more forward towards the front edge of that blanket if you have that underneath you. And then hook your hands behind your thighs, slowly lower all the way down. Finding your way onto your backs. If you didn't land it quite perfectly, that's okay. Adjust the blanket so it's resting underneath your sacrum, underneath the lower part of your spine to your hips. Feel free to find a nice subtle windshield wiper left to right. Then go ahead and bring those knees back to center, settle here. And then go ahead and bring the right knee in towards your chest. Grab hold of that right shin as you really hug that in toward your torso. And then nice and slow, start to walk that left leg out in front of you, reaching through that left heel as the right knee continues to come in towards the chest. Maybe the prop underneath your hips is giving your lower body enough support where that left heel is even floating from the earth. That's how much you're driving that heel towards the top of the mat. To really create as much space as you can between right and left sides. Eventually, you'll allow that left heel to rest heavy onto the earth, keeping that length throughout the front of the left thigh. And then right knee comes up and across over towards that left side. Finding a gentle twist as the right arm comes into a capital T. And that left arm is just guiding that right leg over towards that left side. Trying to keep that right shoulder anchored down so we really explore the twist through the spine. That left heel is still pulling towards the top of the mat. Come on back through center. Go ahead and give that right knee a hug. And then go ahead and slide that left foot back, left heel back towards the bottom so you're bending that left knee. And then go ahead and bring that right ankle across the left thigh. Trying to open up through the hips here in this space. Stay here or bring your shape in towards you, finding that figure four. And allow your legs to really traction your arms away from your body so you're gripping strong against the left shin. You're keeping that hold on your lower body, but you're allowing that shape to kind of fall away from your body a little bit. And with that, you're giving yourself a little bit more space to really drive that right knee towards the top right corner. If you're really compressed in towards your body, that exploring that space can be a little bit more difficult. So see how that is if you let your shape fall away from your body a little bit. Your upper body is still anchored down onto the floor, and you're driving that right knee open. With that bolster or with that hip blanket underneath you, you're feeling a little bit more lift to the hips, maybe a little bit more lengthening within the low back in these shapes. And if you did have a bolster before and it's too awkward or cumbersome or too much height, transition to a blanket so it's a nice little subtle support here. And drop the left foot down towards the earth. Grab hold of that right ankle and then allow that shape to fall over towards the left. Feel the opening within the outer right hip. And keep drawing that right hip crease towards the top of the mat. Opening up through that right knee, really feel the length through the right side body. Go ahead and inhale back through center. Uncross the ankle. Maybe a gentle shimmy side to side before transition over onto the left. So you're going to bring that left knee in towards the chest. Pause here before anything else. Feel that compression. And then if you're able, extend that right leg nice and long, reaching that heel towards the top of the mat. Again, maybe it's floating for a few moments as you really lengthen through that leg until it finally falls heavy onto the earth. Feel that space between right and left. As the left knee comes in, the right leg goes long. Breathing into the belly, feeling that belly fill. Breathing into that compression. And then go ahead and bring that left knee over towards the right side. Left arm stays in a capital T. And then right hand is just guiding that left knee over towards the right, nice and slow. As you twist through the belly. Feeling that opening along the outer edge of the left hip, the left low back. So you guide that left thigh a little bit further over towards the right. As you keep pulling that left rib cage out and open towards the sky, towards the left side of the room. Nice and slow, go ahead and come back towards center. Bring that left knee back in towards the belly. Then go ahead and slide that right heel towards your bottom, bending that knee, bring that foot flat. And then go ahead and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Keep this shape here. Or you can go ahead and bring the right knee in towards the chest. Clasp those hands just below the right knee, and again, allow that shape to fall in towards your hands. So your upper body is staying resting onto the earth. But you're letting your legs fall heavy in towards your hands here. Giving yourself some space to drive that left knee towards the top left corner of the mat. Open a little bit deeper into that hip. Breathing into that left hip, deep into the left hip joint. And then go ahead and allow your shape to fall back down, planting that right foot. Grab hold of that left ankle to help keep your shape. Left arm in a capital T as everything falls over towards the right. Drawing that left hip crease towards the top of the mat. Opening up through that left knee. Feel the space. Inhale back through center. Unravel left from right. Maybe a shimmy side to side. And then go ahead and bring both knees in towards your chest. Give them both a squeeze. Feel how that blanket underneath you is helping you lift your hips just a little bit more. And then go ahead and allow the feet to plant. Scoop the tailbone underneath you. And go ahead and lift the hips up from the earth. Soft bridge pose. 2 for 1 opportunity to open the front body. And slip that blanket out from underneath you. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down 1 segment at a time until your low back hits the earth. And then go ahead and roll over on towards your right side. Prop yourself up. Come into a cross-legged seat. And just find a moment to integrate here. Not here for long, just transitioning. And go ahead and cross over the ankles. Find your way into tabletop position. Pumping your hips left to right. Keeping those toes tucked, maybe moving forward and back, and just finding some movement within the spine, within the hips. Explore your space for just a breath or so. Before coming into tabletop position, untucking the toes. Finding a nice strong tabletop. Belly's engaged. So belly button's in towards the spine, which is nice and long as you reach the crown of the head towards the top of the mat. And then from here, you're gonna exhale, you're gonna round the low back, tucking the tailbone underneath you as you puff up through the back of the rib cage, finding a nice cat pose. And then inhale back to center, finding that neutral spine. So we're only gonna move through tabletop and into cat pose, excuse me. So we're gonna find a nice, strong and stable tabletop, and from here, we're gonna lengthen through the back body. Create space as you tuck that tailbone underneath you, feeling that length all the way from the low back, through the back of the rib cage, through the shoulder blades, as you tuck the chin towards your chest. Inhale back to neutral. Feel those hip points widen, like that someone's pulling that a rope across your hip crease and back behind you. So we're still staying mindful even in this starting point. Exhale, round. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, round. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, round once more. Really tucking underneath of that tailbone. Maybe a slight engagement of the low belly to get you there. And then from here, just drag your shape back, like you're coming into child's pose. Maybe walking your hands out a little bit further. Really trying to lengthen the low back as you reach the hips towards your heels. Now on your inhale, gaze forward, drop the forearms, pull the body through upward facing dog, high cobra. Adjust your shape as you need. Lifting through the low belly. If you want a little bit more opening, press through the tops of the feet, come into upward facing dog. And then on the exhale, lift through the low belly, press through the heels of the hands, round through your shape. Rounding through cat pose. Child pose. Drop the forearms, gaze forward, pull through upward facing dog. Or high cobra. Exhale, lift through the low belly. Press through the heels of the hands around through your back. Child pose. Drop the forearms, gaze forward, inhale. Upward facing dog, back over. Find as much space and opening through the front of the hips as your body will allow. And then exhale, drop the knees, tabletop. And then from here, you're just going to bring your right foot outside the right hand, so driving that right knee, right elbow. And then start to walk your left toes back in space, come up onto the fingertips. Starting with the knee grounded to start. Just keep it lifted within the chest. Maybe swaying side to side, opening, closing that right knee to find a little bit more depth. Sinking a little bit lower into that right hip. Then go ahead and find your center. Find a nice length through the torso. And then sit the hips back, coming into half splits pose. Lifting through the right toes. Right knee is straight-ish. We're still reaching back with those sit bones to lengthen through the back line of the body. Come back forward, plant into that right foot. Plant the hands, and then tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, drive that left heel back in space, finding a low lunge here. And then plant through the left hand, right hand lifts as you open up through towards the right hand reaches up towards the sky. Right arm reaches up and overhead as you spin the chest back down. Squaring off through the hips. Drop the back knee and then drop that right forearm inside that right foot. Finding a little bit more depth. Inhale, right arm reaches up in front of you. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then spin up and over towards the right. Right arm can stay up and overhead or can reach towards the sky. Strong through that left hand, driving through that left heel. Right arm comes up and overhead as you square the chest down. Keep reaching through those right fingertips, drop the back knee, drop the right forearm inside that right foot. One more time open. Reach that right arm in front of you, lift the back knee, find that low lunge, and then spin over towards the right. Right arm can stay up and overhead or reach towards the sky. Square everything off. Right arm reaches towards the front of the room. Keep that back knee lifted, nice and long through the spine. And then go ahead and straighten through that right leg, coming into extended pyramid pose. That right hand can frame the right foot. Coming into extended pyramid pose. You can always keep that reach going, reaching those right fingertips towards the back left foot. If you want a little bit more movement here, both options are available. Here for 3, for 2, and 1. Bend back into that right knee. Drop the back knee. Hands plant, bring that right foot back to meet the left. Coming back into tabletop. And moving on to the left side. Starting from your tabletop, go ahead and drive that left knee towards the left elbow. Let's bring that left foot outside the left hand, keeping that back knee grounded. And just kind of find your way into your lizard lunge, your low lunge here. Maybe going in and out with that left knee. Maybe shifting in and out of those hips. And staying lifted within the low belly, even when we're working through the depth of our hips, trying to create space In this moment, we still want to stay supportive within the low back. So we do that by staying lifted within the low belly, lifted within the front hip points, so that we're not dumping all of our weight into the low back, into that space without a little bit of support. Find your center. Find that little extra lift within the low belly as you trace all of that length through the crown of the head. And then sit the hips back, coming into half splits pose as the left toes reach from the earth. Coming back towards your shin. Slight bend in that left knee, allowing you to really reach that tailbone, those sit bones back behind you. Gaze towards the top edge of the mat as you bring your head away from your shoulders, shoulders away from your ears. Come back into that left foot. Find your way into that low lunge once more. Lift through the chest, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. As you drive that right heel back in space, pulling the chest and heart forward, feel that length and depth within the hips. From here, plant the right hand, spin that chest over towards the left as you reach that left hand up towards the sky. Feeling that twist through the body as the collarbones stack on top of one another. Keeping that drive of the right heel. And then go ahead and reach that left arm up and overhead as you start to square the chest down towards the earth. And then go ahead and drop that left forearm inside that left foot. Inhale, lift that arm in front of you once more. Drive that right heel back, stay low. And then spin that arm overhead, opening the chest back towards the right, or towards the left, excuse me. Keeping that right heel driving back. Staying strong within the heel of that right hand. As you spin the chest back down towards the ground, reach those left fingertips up in front of you. Drop the back heel, drop the back knee, drop the forearm inside the left foot. Feeling a little bit more depth. Inhale, left arm up and overhead. Lift through the back knee, spin that chest over towards the left. Left arm can stay up and overhead, or you can just reach it towards the sky. Left arm back and overhead, spin the chest down towards the floor. Drop the back knee, drop the left forearm inside that left hip. Inhale, left arm lifts. Lift the back knee, spin that chest over towards the left, left hand up and overhead. One more time, square that chest down. Keep the left arm reaching nice and long. And then straighten through that left leg. You can keep that left arm reaching towards that right ankle back behind you, if that's something that feels good, or you can square off and square off that front foot. Sending those hips back in space wherever you choose to be. Reaching that chest beyond, like you're trying to reach beyond that front edge of the mat. Here for 3, for 2, and 1. Bend back into that left knee, hands plant, drop that back knee. Left knee meets the right. Bring those knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, shift the hips back, child's pose. Releasing through that low back. Reach those fingertips a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. Really stretch out through the side body. And then plant the forearms, pull the body forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Adjust yourself as you need. And just pressing gently through the forearms, keeping the shoulders down and away from your ears. Just a nice soft and subtle opening through the front body. Staying lifted within the chest. You can go ahead and lower all the way down. Bring that right arm into a capital T, fingertips onto the earth on that left side. And then just slowly lift through that left leg and spin over towards the left as the left leg falls straight back behind the right. Just a nice, soft, prone twist. Come back onto the belly. Switching sides, left arm capital T, right fingertips down onto the earth, left ear down. Light lift through that right leg as you spin over towards the left, towards the right, goodness. As the right leg falls just behind the left leg. Finding a nice gentle twist. Come on back through center. Hands underneath shoulders. Sit the hips back, child's pose. Walk the hands back towards your knees. Sitting hips to heels. Bring the fingertips back behind your toes. Just a soft front body opening as you scoop the tailbone underneath you, pressing the hip points up and forward. Allowing the shoulders to roll open, gaze to fall up towards the sky. Just a nice front body opener here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly unravel, hips back down towards the heels. And then we're going to find our way onto our backs. And if you have a blanket, if you have the bolster, go ahead and grab that now. And as we make our way onto our backs in a nice supported position, we're going to go ahead and slide that bolster, that prop, underneath the knees. And then we're slowly going to roll on back. One segment at a time until our spine is all the way onto the floor. Skull is resting heavy onto the mat. And the lower body is nice and supported. Releasing any lasting tension, whether it be in the hips, the low back. And just allowing those arms to rest alongside your body, palms facing up towards the sky. And just giving your body the opportunity to release any lingering tension. Any effort your body is still holding on to. Acknowledge it and allow it to release and fall heavy into the supports that rest below. Knowing that no effort is required here in this moment. And bring the focus solely onto the breath. As your body falls heavier and heavier, melting its way into the earth. as always, remain here in your final rest for at least 5 more breaths or as long as your body will allow. Thank you so much for practicing with me. And if you enjoy being here with me here in class, please like and subscribe to my channel so you can stay in touch with all the new classes that post every Monday at noon. I look forward to seeing y'all next time and have an awesome rest of your day.